All right, it's Friday Eve, aka Thursday night. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. We are continuing on our journey here, day 425, QoS shaping scenario and testing. I may do some of that on stream, we'll see. But it is day 425. Things going well. I am really into. I'm reaching towards the end of some material on QoS. I know I've only done so many labs, but we'll discuss that in a minute. First, a couple of orders of items or orders of business here. One is the EVNG Pro upgrade was announced today. So I think there's some long time, there's some features that people have been asking for that are included in this release. This is very pertinent for me, I will say. So first of all, there is, by the way, a 30% offer on the Pro Personal Edition. So this is, I think, 3 days. Well, let's see, what are the terms of this offer? I thought I read that on LinkedIn. Okay, yeah, not sure. 30%. Important advice for, okay. Yeah. So this promotion is good. Yeah, 19th through the 22nd. There it is. So it's starting, I guess, UTC +3. I'm at UTC -4. So, yeah. That's, let's see, +4 would be 23. So yeah, not yet, I guess, but very soon. So that's cool. They got a little egg here, 30% off. Easter Eve is the code. And then there was an update released today to version, let's see here, 205.12. I think I'm on 205.11. So the new features, improvements. Let's see what is going on here. I read the LinkedIn post about this, but basically brand new online licensing system. Always rehost E by user. Internet access is required. Now, this is very important to me. Now, first of all, the principal developer, known in our Discord channel as Redfish, he also posted an announcement in our Discord channel. If you're not on our Discord channel yet, hello. There's the link. Check it out. We have an EVNG GNS3 viral channel. But he posted about this and said that, you know, upcoming support is for a native Azure host is coming, which is cool. That's great. But yeah, so I'm not sure if this means that I can move my license to Azure or not. I'll have to ask him. But this is important for me right now because I'm probably looking at the prospect of rebuilding this computer this weekend. I mean, it is really acting up today. I'm glad I can stream right now. One thing that happened yesterday is I realized that while I was streaming to Twitch, it did not save my recording. Like it didn't even have enough working space to actually save my recording to the desktop. So I was unable to upload it to YouTube until I found that you can download videos from Twitch. I had no idea of this until today. I thought, well, you know, let me just check and see. And sure enough, you can go on these videos. I think it's under Video Producer. Yeah, so this is ongoing right now. So I can right click here and add to, yeah, there's so many things you can do in here. I can download. Export, that's new. I just saw that too. What can you export to? I don't know. We'll play with that a little later, but I thought that was really cool. So I downloaded it and then uploaded it to YouTube after rebooting my PC. So yeah, this may be really important. Either way, knowing that the license can be moved around is good. So I may try to see if I can move to Azure or not. I don't know. They fix, so there's some improvements on consoles opening from the nodes menu. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but that's good. New image templates and icons. Viptela, Sophos, DCNM. Not sure what that is. Is that, what is DCNM? Is that Cisco's, yeah, Data Center Network Manager. Okay. Sonic Wall. Added a little typo there. Added QEMU 3.1. What were we on? I think we're on 3.0, maybe. And then an Ostinato 0.9 Docker station, which is awesome because I feel like I have sort of graduated from iPerf. Used it extensively now. I'm familiar with its operation. I'm familiar with how to sort of tune it. This to me is the next best step while working on these QoS labs, is to configure Ostinato. So that I plan to use in the pro version. Now, I've seen people do it with, you may have even been able to do it. I think you could, they had an image for it before, but now at least there's a Docker workstation and it's 0.9. Maybe that's the update. Yeah, I think they had this before. And Docker support with new Java. This is good. Text object editing bug fix. I didn't see this too much, but that's good. And then lab opening fix, which is good. And it's cool. So this is an official partnership, I understand, where you can host even G on CloudMyLab. And I actually looked into that a little bit. But they are going to add support for other hosting options. It looks like official support. So we will see where this goes. Either way, I'll let you know. And yeah, Ostinato 0.9 is good. It's cool. Looking forward to that. And the rehost is awesome. All right, that is that news. I would upgrade. I would have already upgraded, but I'm just so cautious. I'm just trying to get this PC through another stream and another day or two before I rebuild it. So, BGP use case for origin code. I was able to upload that video. I posted this out on Twitter. I need to go over to Router Gods and post about this and see, you know, if anyone in that group has seen it. So far, I got no response yet on Twitter. So, which I expect. I just don't think this is a thing. The origin code is a feature of BGP, but it is primarily used for best path selection, not for filtering out routes. And, you know, hey, maybe what I should do is propose that to, if it's not a feature, maybe we could propose that. Oh, Crisco 762, you can use set origin and route map in iOS XE, at least in 16.6.3. That is good to know because I think there's a real router I want to use this on that is running iOS XE. I don't know if it's 16.6.3. I'll need to check on that. So let me it was match origin. Yeah, I'm looking for match origin. I know you can set. Sorry, I just now read that. I got excited. Yes, you can set the origin. And that, when last night I was talking about doing that in an INE lab, I think there is actually an INE lab or a blog post where I read about this, where you can set, let's say you have a BGP route with origin of incomplete, and you want to influence the best path selection, you can create a route map and set the origin to, one I had was EGP, which is a pretty, you know, novel approach. It's creative, nonetheless. the features there, it's not really ever used, but that's one use you could use for it, is to, because that would be preferred over incomplete. So you could sort of use it as a tag. But yeah, matching the origin. Sorry, brain fart, I saw it on route map. I was just working. Hey, no problem. Crisco. But yeah, you can't set, you cannot match. I should put that here too, match origin code. Yeah, and there's one, I'll talk about that in a minute. Yeah, so I've finished the red chapter in the book, QoS exam guide. So that was a great chapter, and I've finished all the flashcards on that. Created quite a few flashcards. In fact, I had a couple hours this morning to study before work, and that was very productive. But yeah, I've created a lot of flashcards today, which is an indication of risk. So I've got 20 new just from today. That's how many notes I've taken on some of these QoS principles. So I have 22 due. That's okay. Yeah, downloaded from Twitch. I talked about that. And yeah, I need to set up, I actually am going to be doing some QoS changes coming up very soon. And I wanted to, so this is interesting. So let's say you have a link, it's Gigabit link, for example, and you have you don't have any output drops. Let's assume there's no QoS configuration running on the link, and there's no QoS, and there's quite a bit of traffic on the link. Let's say you're seeing it sometimes reach near 100% utilization. Let's say you have NetFlow enabled and you're not dropping any packets, but you are noticing significant increase in latency. Not significant, but somewhat increase in delays for different flows on the interface. So let's say you wanted to rate limit a particular flow. I'm just thinking about this out loud. So, you know, the router is not really going to be able to detect congestion in the strictest sense, but you want to limit the flow you want to limit a particular flow or set of flows because you feel that maybe that is introducing latency to some of the other flows for one reason or another. So I was trying to think of a way today, and I thought about doing this on stream, but I need to research it a little more. But, you know, you have your different QoS mechanisms, right, on Cisco. So you have police inbound, you have a policer. You also have a shaper outbound, and you can police as well. You know, maybe this is what I need to explore a little bit. But anyway, let's just say we have a single interface here. GI00. So I don't necessarily, so I want to, I guess, throttle the flow on the router. That's really what I'm trying to do. Rate limit or throttle. And I was trying to think if the QoS tools I've learned about so far would support that sort of scenario. So I can shape the link. But again, the shaper is only going to intervene when there is congestion. In other words, the shaper will not buffer any traffic if the committed information rate has not been exceeded. As long as you conform, then it will not buffer or slow down any of the outbound traffic. Now, you could artificially reduce you could lower the shaping on the link outbound to less than the maximum rate of the physical medium. That's used often when you have like multiple circuits or frame relay or something like that, right? Common thing to do. But that doesn't strictly accomplish what you're trying to do. So let's say I wanted to, I guess you would though. Because if the working theory is here, so gigabit link, I guess, and I'm sort of figuring this out as I'm talking to you folks about it. It seems my working theory is that if the throughput approaches a full gigabit per second, but does not exceed, then delay increases significantly. Now that could be for multiple reasons, right? Because when I was reading this book, it talks about great book, QoS Exam Guide. There are multiple ways that delay is introduced in the network, right? You have serialization, which is serialization is the time it takes for the router to actually encode a stream onto a medium, right? So the analogy for this is, for example, when you have a train, serialization is, let's say you have a train leaving the station and you have a passenger booth or like a bench. Basically, its serialization is the time it takes the train to get out of the gate, basically. So it takes some time for it to literally leave the station and pass that point. So serialization is the physical act of encoding the bits onto the medium. And then you have propagation delay. And propagation is basically the time it takes a train to get from point A to point B. So if you have a fiber link, if you have a copper link, if you have a radio, Wi-Fi link, it's the time it takes the packet to travel on the physical medium, right? Actually, that is a different term. Let me find the card, folks. It's been a while since I reviewed this card. So we have, let's just look at all the QoS. There's written exam practice, lab exam practice. Let's see, let's search on delay. Search. Let's see here. No, that's correct. That's propagation delay. Then you have queuing delay, which is what shaping is, right? We are introducing, there's software queues, hardware queues, etc. That's basically the packets waiting in line, right? Yeah, the time to encode the bits packet on the physical interface. A forwarding delay. That's what I was looking for. Yeah. So forwarding delay is the time it takes for the packet, once it's received on a router, to be put into an output queue. So basically it's received, it's reviewed maybe against an ACL, different processes that the router looks at. It might be punted to CPU, and then, so that's the serialization and propagation are fixed delay components. And they're like, for some of these, they're formulas, especially propagation, depending on the medium. And then queuing and forwarding, the forwarding delay, those are all variable, right? But when I look at this and I think, all right, for some reason, when this pipe gets full, and it's not in this case because of queuing. I don't think, I'm pretty sure it's not forwarding delay, at least on this particular router, causing the additional delay. It's not propagation delay, because it's the same medium. But yeah, there's a curve here that I don't exactly know. That, there's a curve in the amount of throughput and the amount of delay. So those are correlating somehow, and there's an arc in the curve somewhere. Like, I don't have access to everything downstream, so I don't know everything that's happening downstream. But what I can control is this router, and I think what I may need to do in my approach is just introduce an artificially low shaping rate on all the traffic and prioritize everything. Let's say, for example, that we're talking about, and I suspect, and tell me if I'm wrong here, folks, but how often is network congestion in an enterprise, anyway, enterprise networking, when you start looking at WAN links, internet links, MPLS, one of the first things, and this is what I was telling some other folks who are not as familiar with networking as I am, if you ever suspect that something is going on, and you start looking and analyzing the tools that you have to get information, and you see anything to do with replication. So replication, we're talking about offsite replication. Most organizations have requirements. Used to be they would rotate tapes, right? You wanted to have, in case the building burns down, quote unquote. I know these days that doesn't sound as it's a completely different climate, right? Today, completely different environment that we work in these days. But in the old days, you had to have offsite copy of your most critical data, so that you could recover in the case of a disaster, right? Plain DR stuff. Well, nowadays with the, once Ethernet became so popular for business links, over other types of links like, ATM, frame relay, things like that, it's ubiquitous. And so nowadays, so many companies are doing replicating their data offsite, depending on how much data you have, depending on what kind of links you purchased. That could be a lot. So if you ever start looking at, NetFlow or anything like that, and you see what you suspect might be replication products, it's probably a good place to check. More often than not, someone might be using that, or maybe they're not. A lot of these newer versions of these replication products have their own throttling mechanisms. My experience, though, has been that those built-in throttles don't always do what they say they do. And I've often been able to prove that. So let's just say, like, we have a link here, a Gigabit link, and so someone has started doing replication, and now you've got delay on other types of traffic, but there's no congestion. So, but there's definite delay, and I haven't found out that curve yet. I don't know where that curve starts, but I just know that it correlates. So I could engage the policer. Yeah, I'm not sure what the best answer to this kind of thing is. And I've faced this scenario a number of times in my career. This is now I'm a little more equipped now that I've studied QoS. But I just don't know. Now, if I had congestion on this link and I had dropped packets, I would know exactly what to do. I could basically take all the rest of the traffic, put it in DSCP1. Like I could create just the simplest approach would be create a class everything but replication, and inbound classify it and mark it as DSCP1. And then I could classify and mark the known replication traffic flows and put them as DSCP0 inbound. Then outbound, that's assuming I have not done the classification and marking farther closer to the source. Then outbound, I use the shaper, and again, I could put the shaper at whatever. But then do class-based weighted fair queuing, and I would give everything else guaranteed bandwidth. DSCP1, I would guarantee 900 megabits per second, right? And maybe guarantee 10% to scavenger class, DSCP0. That's really IP precedence class, but you know what I mean. So that would work if there was, and the shaper would engage and it would buffer traffic. And the scheduler, the CBWFQ scheduler, would prioritize packets that are apart from, that are not doing the replication. It would prioritize all the other flows. Done. But that's not the case here. So unless I really reduce the shaper below the actual CIR of the interface and the link and the negotiated contract, the contract rate, I could artificially reduce it to engage the shaper and the scheduler. I'm just not sure that that's going to give me the result I want. I think it will. What I really wanted to do is to buffer or throttle a particular flow regardless of whether there's congestion or not. So I want to bottle that particular flows, and I'm not sure how to do that. And maybe there isn't a way. We'll keep studying. We'll keep working on that. Thanks for listening and talking it over with me. There's been some really good videos. I just have a couple meat chunks just one in particular. Why we still need spanning tree. This is packet pushers. They've been putting out some videos. There's another one they put out today on, well, this one was from today, I think. And then they had another one on, transition to management. So they've taken some from their virtual design clinic, their most recent one. And it's been interesting to see some of the commentators there, really respected folks, and they've been covering some good topics. So yeah, I won't be living this today. I thought about doing this, but it's already like 7:30. And I may be playing with this some in the morning. But that's going to be it. It is Thursday Eve. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And for many of this, it is holiday weekend as well. So I hope you have a good time with your loved ones. And, thanks for hanging out. Keep on keeping on, sending everybody good bits. Think about your weekend plans. That's what I'm doing. Thinking about, what I want to get accomplished this weekend. And primary on my list apart from getting what labbing I can't get done, is we got to get this PC straight. So, and get the EvenG Pro lab running. But the thing is, even while I'm waiting on maybe things to happen on this computer, I have another computer and I'll be labbing in the cloud. That's my backup. So always have a backup. Thanks for hanging out, folks. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I will be either labbing or vlogging, depending on how things go with my computer. Either way, I have another computer I can vlog with, another couple of computers that I can vlog with Saturday and Sunday. So at a minimum, we will see you then. We'll let you know. I'll let you know in the Discord when that's happening. It always varies on the weekends. And have a great Thursday night and Friday. See y'all then.